Hello and welcome to the next session. So last time I was talking about case number 1. Now today I'll talk about case number 2, where the team is having a imbalance in terms of the culture. So the topic is culture imbalance team. So if you have a team formation where different kind of people are going to be your team member, then there is a high possibility that each one will carry their own kind of a culture along with them, which is anyway imbibed with the person. So that is what we call as whenever a new team emerges, there will be a lot of imbalances due to the cultural differences. So when hiring people to build a balanced team, we should look forward a goal, and the goal is no reason for action, no balance and no imbalance. So my ultimate goal of the making a team is no reason for action, no balance and no imbalance. That means I should be in perfect harmony. That is, your goal could be delivering solution for problem using data science with a short period of time to the market. So that is the underlying principle of our delivery team. Okay, so this is what we call. Now another important factor about the team is a cross functional role. So I may be a member of one team, I may be a project manager of one team, and I can also be a group member of another team. So I do have a cross functionality. That means in one part of one team of the core group, I may be having a different functional role, another team I may have a different functional role. So functional or cross functional role is very important in order to have a balanced team. And when we have a cross functional role, the chances of getting imbalance are high. So you have to be very careful and to be having a agile methodology to solve the problem. Okay. So for example, our data science team should handle everything from definition of a business requirement to the delivery of a solution. So I require people like business requirement. So who will do the business requirement? Be a business analysis person, functional requirement system analysis, non-functional requirement system analysis, and discovering and documenting is done by the data analyst. So these are the composition of my team members. Okay, and exploratory data analysis is very important for our data scientists. So all our statistical method, exploratory data analysis, regression, all these things are part of our data scientists. Building software around the model. So it is a responsibility of the software engineering. Creating documentation is another responsibility of the system software engineering and system analysis. And finally, delivering and deployment of the project. Okay, and management and team leadership. So ultimately, everything binds together with the team leader. Okay, so suppose we have only 3 members in the team. So naturally, when I have few members in the team, each member will be double loaded or triple loaded with different kind of job profile. So like defining business functional and non-functional requirement can be done by analyst, delivering software and models can be done by machine learning engineer, or project management, team leadership and other acceptance and the intermediate effect or result can be done by the team leader. So these are what we call is, if you have 3% team, you will see that the same person have a different role to play, and all combine them together, they have to do a interpersonal roles. So creating individual goals that are aligned with the team goal can be done throughout the following set of transformation. Now look at the transformation. I have a team goal. So when I am working in the team, as shown by the red color. So when I am working in the team has its own goal. For example, meeting the deadline, delivering the software, delivering a accurate and a good software. Then from the team goal, it comes to the team roles. So each individual will have a role to play in within the team. Then it comes to the positions, what you have in the team, and finally the individual goal. So you can see that individual goals are the minimum and team goals are the higher state. Okay, so more roles your team has and smaller size, the vague boundaries between the team members. So that's what I said. If you have 3 people, the vague boundaries lies between the team members. Then you can see here I have a phenomenon called as back propagation. So suppose a feedback is being given from the outside. So in our neural network, we use a feedback network, or sorry, what we call the back propagation algorithm. The output is being differentiated and then given to the last but one input layer. It goes here, it goes here, it goes to the input layer, and the neural network rehearsal itself by each and every epoch. Same principle we use it. So if I have a output, the output is the team is not able to deliver, so I'll have a feedback. The feedback will go to the next person in the team, next person in the team, next, and finally the person who was responsible for designing. So this is what a analogy between our neural network and team building. So you have to have a functional output going back to the input. Okay. So we have role, goal and size. So this is what we call as a role, goal, position framework in our team. And we have another beautiful principle called as leadership in people management, that is called as a team Zen. So team Zen is nothing but a team leader should not be both at the core of the team, but because the situation lead to several organizations in the imbalance. But team leader has to be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. So we use a word called as omnipresence. That means I am present also and I am absent also. So team Zen is again, as I said, is a Japanese word taken from the their way of working. So a team leader should facilitate team functioning, help every team member that take part in the process and mitigate any risk that team may have come across. So this is what we call as the leadership and people management. So ultimately it tells that leadership and people management are related. People management involves selecting, training and motivating the employees to improve their skill set and then output. However, the leaders need to be able to motivate, inspire and delegate the task as well as communicate effectively and resolve conflicts. So you can see the clear definition between a leadership and the people management. So you can see here the leader is leading. So I have listed out some of the differences. You can go through leadership and the management, and you can see the person who is at the ahead is leading the team members. Then another team example is leading by example. So this is more or less like a political science, one person leading the entire country or lead by example. So the most simple and effective leadership advice was given in your childhood. If you want to have good relationship with others, take the first step one. So what is the first step? First step is number one, we have to trust the people, that is want people to trust you. So when I trust somebody or I get a trust from others, that means I should have a very good trustworthiness as a property. Build incrementally by trusting the other people. Want to team to be motivated and be involved in the workflow, and management literature calls this as a leadership by example. So this is a very true example of our political science and politics, where a one person lead the entire nation, or a team leader in terms of a player, a cricket player or any other player, lead by example. So this is another team style of working. Okay, so I listed out some of the leadership quality. You can just browse through and it gives you all the details about the team leadership. Then a very good about the leadership is very fundamental, called situational leadership. If a situation become catastrophic, if a situation become difficult, then what is the way out, especially during the rainy time? So thankfully in most cases problem regarding the task delegation are more emotional. So whenever I want to give a task, I am not confident about the other person who will be able to perform or not. So to delegate a task without fear, you should have a trust. So that is what the situational demand. Okay, especially when a political person dies, then who will be the next person? So this is a situational leadership in the team member. And to build trust, you need to take the first step, and if you find it hard to delegate trust, then try to add one. So sometimes it is very difficult to trust the other person will be able to perform or not. So this is a leadership diagram. It consists of 4 S, okay, that is your leadership style: S1, S2, S3, S4. So I have 4 quadrants. S1 is on the S1 is on the fourth quadrant. It is showing you a directing. S2 is your coaching. S3 is a supporting. S4 is a delegation. So you can see a leadership diagram like this, which is a more or less a behavior or a directive behavior and a supporting behavior diagram. Similarly, you have a what you call as a development and competence. So you have a, for example, if you look at here S1, S1 has low directive and low support. So I am having a low direction, which direction should my team lead to, and I have less support. So from here I need a coach. So coach will give me more number of support behavior, and then support will be high, and similarly delegation will be high. So we have this diagram, leadership by style, and another is what we call as a competence level and your commitment level. So you can see that low competence and all those things go together. So when you find a person is competent enough and he has delivered the things, you can delegate the task or delegate the responsibility to him or her. So this is the fundamental principle of leadership by style. Okay, so this is what exactly the same thing I have written here. And another is a basically a term. So if you have this is a case I have written here, this is from the book, and imagine a team member, new team member, JAIN has joined. She has not much experience and become a junior position in your team. Her motivation is high, but she is eager to learn the new things. So the commitment is high, but the competence level is low. So whenever I join as a new person, as a trainee, my commitment is high, but my competence is very low. So we must take the directive leadership style. That is what I just explained. Obviously, she cannot solve complex tasks alone. It is better to take something simple, split the task into many subtasks as we can, and thoroughly describe everything, so she will be able to perform better and better. So over some period of time, Jane had gained some skill, so is acquired a skill, and her motivation started to do a fairly well. Okay, so this is what we, and Jane completely levels the growth further and can tell that she is now much more better position. So you can see that at this stage, Jane or any new person, after giving a lot of support, giving a lot of coaching, is able to achieve a higher height. So at this stage, Jane is already a expert now. She has high skill, can make good decision, and can provide a consistent output with a good quality. So whenever I join a company like a data science team member, naturally I'll be at the beginning level. Over a period of time, I'll be able to acquire my competence level, I'll be able to acquire my skill level. And this is what we call. So whenever we are defining a task, we just follow a SMART principle. SMART says that be specific, be connected, be concrete, and target a specific area of goal. Measurable, have some indication of progress or indicator progressive way. Assignable, have a assignee who will be doing the work. Realistic, state which result can be achieved when given a set of constraint to the given work. And time related, state a time constraint or a deadline. So this is our smart way of working in the data science too. And another word, another very good thing is empathy. Empathy is not similar to sympathy. Sympathy is different, empathy is different. Okay, so empathy tells that the basic concepts such as leadership, for example, situational leadership and SMART will help to structure and measure your work as a team member. However, there is another crucial component without which your team will fall apart, and which is the perfect leadership function. This is called as empathy. Being empathetic means that understand your emotions, okay, as well as other people emotions. So sometimes my project is not working very well, sometimes I get a failure, I become more emotional, and things go havoc. So that is what we call empathetic. So by example, for example, it is easier to confuse anger for fear. We can act angrily when we really just on the afraid side. So being empathetic or being empathetic to the other colleague or team member is very much required. And this is what we call as when you have a cross functional team or a imbalanced team, this part of the empathy play a very critical role. Okay, another very important point is a very along with the empathy is listen to others. Before you start saying, please listen to others. So another important tool that will help to build the empathy and understand other is active listening. So doctors are very good active listeners. They will listen to the patient. Okay, whatever patient wants to say, they will listen carefully. Okay, if we listen to other each day, we do extract all the available information from their speech. In fact, we leave most of the behind because we are eager to speak, not listen. So when listening, we are often distracted by our own thought. We do not pay attention to the speaker, and we are eager to talk about. So if you want to be a very good active listener, do some critical what you call as a analysis. Pay full attention to the speaker. So who is speaking, pay a full attention what he is talking about, what is the behind, what is the problem. Show that you are paying attention. So give feedback using some yes, I know you, yes, nodding and things like that. Okay, or by way of a smile. The other person should not feel they are just talking in a concrete wall. Okay, so this is another empathetic way, listening patiently. Okay, and paraphrase mirror, this is where you repeat the last 2 word or 3 words. This is what we do in our lectures also, we repeat the last few words. Okay, do not judge. Our opening judging others is a trigger a defensive. So don't judge just because you don't like another person, okay, or you don't like some of the qualities. Verbalize emotions to understand the others what we feel. So empathy is very important, and it will give you a good idea about the team cohesiveness. So with this I end here, and if anything there you can put me a mail and we'll try to help you. Thank you so much.